to elevate.
You're on mute. You're on mute, Diana.
Let me reintroduce myself. Hey, y'all. This is Diana Byfield as the Wellness Purpose Life Coach, but I also am the founder of Sweating with Purpose and Purpose Powerhouse. I have my lovely brother on today, Reginald A Howard, and I am excited and honored to have him on Elevating in Purpose, but we are dedicating the month of June, but also it is Father's Day weekend. So we are celebrating all fathers and Black, African American male, Spanish, white, you name it. All race, happy Father's Day. And I am just excited for tonight. And I just want to say that this dedication, I just want to put out there for men to really tap into their purpose, right? That's the main thing. That's what Elevating in Purpose is all about. This show is more with teaching and lessons and also giving a lot of gems so then you could take and implement in your life of how you can go forth in your purpose. And I am excited to have a man that is elevating in purpose, number one. And number two, he has been igniting and impacting people lives and having them just being a vessel, right? A vessel to help others with their passion, to just ignite it. And it's crazy because when he gave me his bio, which I'm about to read, y'all, I seen something that I know that we are connected because he literally has this thing of ignite. And that's what he is all about, of igniting the passion in these men. And he is a mental health advocate. So I'm going to go ahead and share his bio. I am excited. How you doing, Reginald? How you doing so far?
I am good. How about yourself? I love the intro. You inspired me. I'll say that to go back and do some work because that intro is flames.
It's true though. It's the truth. It is. I just want to say thank you because even with your book that I bought in while we were in the quarantine, right? So I'm excited, but we're going to talk about that during the show. So let me give a big shout out and just like read his bio, y'all. This is my brother Reginald A. Howard. He is a mental health activist that uses his life experience to ignite, inspire, and empower others to prioritize their mental health. Rather, it's through his mentality healing podcast, his paradigm shifting book of his emotionally connecting speeches. Reg puts the motivation into mental health. Y'all hear that, y'all? So that it can be the focal point of today's conversation, which is needed, everybody. It is needed. On a typical day, Reggie's contribution to change consists of being a community engagement specialist for Drexel University, an activate board member for Lindley Academy Charter School, presentations for the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and serving as a community outreach coordinator for Black Men Heal. Now I can't wait when you could elaborate that for me of this that's like a nonprofit organization. Okay, I can't wait because I'm excited and I want to know a little bit more about Black Men Heal because that is so deep and it has so much meaning to it. So I just want to say thank you for jumping on. Thank you for joining me. Yes, give me hearts, give me likes, people. Share, 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 share with a friend, share with a brother, a father to just inspire them, to empower them and ignite. That's the main thing. So share with that fella out there. And also my YouTubers, please like, share, and tag. I'm so getting used to this YouTube thing. But anyways, God. So let's get into it. Let's get to it with my purpose questions, right?
Mhm.
So, what does elevating in purpose mean to you?
Ooh, and I love the way that question is like phrased because it seems, or even I don't even know if when you thought of it, that's what you were intention, but that's what I received from it. In order to get into your purpose, you have to intentionally grow into it. And so now that I'm thinking about it, for me, it means becoming who you were designed to be. And sometimes life circumstances, relationships, jobs, whatever the case may be, start to deter you from your purpose. And so you got to
Mhm.
elevate above all of that to enter who you're supposed to be and what you were put on this earth for. And so I think just answering that question in general, I think for myself, I had to do some elevation to get into my purpose.
I like that. And yes, like it was a vision that I have received, and I knew it was with purpose, but I did not know that God wanted me to place elevating there. And I was just like, okay, God, but it really is deep because everybody uses elevate like it's water,
Mhm,
right? But do we really elevate?
mhm.
Do we really know how to elevate? And if we do elevate, are we elevating in the purpose, in the God's purpose, in the God's given purpose that we all were here purpose for?
And I want to add to that too because you said something so profound. I think of it like if you ever see them old TV channels or even the radio, you get in the car, we're all operating on frequencies, and you got to find that frequency that is your dedicated channel and listen to your tune of your own music. And I
Mhm.
feel like that's what you mean is like God given, like it's going time again, finding that knob like a radio station, you finding that perfect angle for and to get that static out because you could be on it and then it's like no, it's a better way to turn it or it's a better way to use that word to elevate into it. And so I think it's phenomenal which the way you phrase that.
Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely needed. And like I said, you are a man that is elevating a purpose. So I salute to you. You are a husband, you are a father of one or
Two,
two? Two.
two.
See? So like, oh, we're gonna get into that building legacy because I need to hear what you guys say about that. So yes, if y'all don't know, we are going to be discussing about building legacy, like because it's about males, right? And how these males of today it's not like the society we were living in 1990, in 1980. A lot of things have changed, right? So when it comes down to building a legacy, it's more than just saying for your family. It's for your community. It's for you. So it's like it's so deep when it comes down building legacy. So we're gonna be discussing about building legacy, about fatherhood, about brotherhood, and mental health because it's very important in order for a man to elevate in this world. And as a Black man in this world and society we are living in, we have to be tapped into our mindset. If we don't think high of ourselves and say that we can exceed and abundantly do all things, then how can you elevate? And that's why it is important tonight that I have to just have this conversation about how men can elevate. There's a lot of things that's happening, yes, in the pandemic, and we know that a lot of things has been going on for many years. We already know, but I see my brothers, but now I want my brothers to step into kings now. It's time to be that king, ignite that king in you so you can be elevated, inspired, ignite that passion that you know that you were called to do so you can elevate. Okay. So yes. So thank you for sharing about how does elevating purpose mean to you. Now the next thing I have is how are you elevating in your true purpose?
Wow. Not some of these questions, man. It gets you thinking of like really like going internal, and I think, and I appreciate the challenge in thinking about them. And so for me, it took a lot of trial and error, if I'm being honest. And I think I learned more of what I wasn't supposed to be doing first in order to find where I was supposed what I was supposed to be doing. So I think of it like driving and taking different routes. There's a route that's specifically designed for you, and then there's routes that can get you to that destination, but it's going to be a little rough. It's going to be a little rocky. You're going to get into the warning signs, construction work. You're going to have flat tires, all those different things. But if you actually go down the path that was meant for you, the road is a lot more smoother. And then I learned that within myself, that I just have to listen to the signs of whatever maker anyone chooses to listen to. I have to listen to the signs of the Most High, and if they say go left, I'm going left without question. Because the noise around you, the traffic, if I'm using that same analogy, the traffic around you will say, hey, it's an open lane this way, go this way. And it's like, I don't know if that's the way I'm supposed to be going. And so I just try to listen to the man above, or the entity above, and try to make sure I'm following those footsteps that's already been, the blueprint has already been laid out for me. I just have to listen to the words of the wise, and follow through with it.
Yes. Wow, that's amazing. And it is true when it comes down to um you're finding your true purpose. It takes time. It takes growth. It takes maturity. So you basically had to go through all those trials and errors in order for where you're at now and where you're going to be going forth after where you are at, because I already see that there's greater and greatness in you, right? So I already see that, from me and you from Instagram last year during the quarantine, and then now seeing how you just been rising, you just been going and you've been going. But I know that you on fire and you getting ready for the next quarter,
I appreciate
that
that.
you're getting ready for the next quarter and you're getting ready for 2022. Whatever God is leading you to, I already see it that this is just the beginning.
No, I
This is
appreciate
just the beginning. Yes, yes, brother. This is the beginning. This is just the beginning. Yeah, you was getting your feet wet.
it.
That's what it was.
Hmm.
You was getting your feet wet, but you about to explode.
No, I
You ready to go.
I
Yes, you're
appreciate
ready to go. Okay. So you already basically kind of put into the next question that I was going to ask, which is when did you discover your purpose? Right. So is there a specific time that in the beginning stage where you were at a place and then it just clinged on you like, this is it. This is my purpose. This is my niche. This is my gift. When did that like happen?
I say it is funny because we're talking about men and men finding their purpose, and going in that way. I think it's two instances that I think of off the back, and one involves a young child. I guess he was a high school student, young black high school student, and then an older, I believe, older black man. And so I'll say for the older black man, it was one speaking engagement that I went to. That again, I was just trying to get my feet wet, like you said. I didn't know really what I was talking about, and still trying to find my niche, trying to find who I was as a speaker. I just knew I had something I wanted to say, and I needed a way to figure out how to say it. And so I went there, and it was one of those almost like a country club, and audience full of white Caucasian men and older men at that. And so I did my speech. I had the room. Everyone told me how great the speech was. Not
Mhm.
the speech is not even, that's irrelevant. It was the afterwards when I guess he was either a waiter, a server, a cleaner, maintenance. One of those. He came up to me like, "Man, brother, I never seen a black man command a room like that with a room full
Mm,
of men." And so he felt honored that I was doing it. Like he seen, I guess he seen it gave him hope. It gave him
yes.
inspiration. It gave him some type of something to cling on to. And that spoke, he don't know that he poured into me as much as he took whatever he took from my speaking, he poured into me, and it was like, oh, I have to I have to do this more because I want him next to me. I want him doing exactly what I was doing. Like, so in order for it was like, I believe you have the ability to do that, but he has to see it in himself as well. And so I have to do more work on getting others and recruiting others to do the same thing. Similar to the young black man, at the young high school student. I was speaking at a school again, didn't know what to say to kids. I knew I wanted to give them something, but still working on what I need to say. I'm kind of good with it now, and I know what I should say and how to impact. But when I first,
Yes.
it wasn't. I was just throwing things at the wall and seeing, like, I just wanted to say something. And so it wasn't until we had the end of the speech, because I was still working with the organization, and it was white women, of course. And the line filled up of young black boys that was talking to me and wanted to have a conversation and just tell me their
Mhm.
story, tell me what they was going through, tell me what, and it was like, all right, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, God, but I'm gonna just keep on doing it. Again, that's what I said about the being in traffic, using that analogy. Is like, I don't know where I'm driving to. I don't know if
Mm.
I have the directions. I don't have none of that stuff. But God, the path is opening for me to go this way. So I'm gonna just continue going and hoping. Even with you just saying that earlier about how you see it, I still don't know what it is long term picture wise. I'm just following the footsteps of whatever the creator has planned for me, and and continue to try to go that way, because the you saying that, the young man, the older guy, it just leads me to keep doing that, even though I really know what the future may hold. I hope that answered the question.
It did. It did. That's where when you know it's like the least things that we think about and people notice about it saying, nah, that's I like that. You have power in that area. And you just be like, what? Really? Really? And it's when you had said the speech, I want to say that it is your speech. It is your speech. And what I mean by that, it came a long time for me to figure out that it's the words that comes out that are out of our mouth that has power. So that's why I really look at that scripture that always talk about, it you have life or death out your tongue, right? But there is a gift in speaking.
Mhm.
And it is amazing where God could use, the higher power could use us as that vessel. And all we do is just open our mouths
Mhm.
and speak life. So that's that's your gift. That's your calling. That is part of your purpose.
Mhm.
And that's where you had to realize from that man that came to you and said, you had the whole room. You ignite the people just from opening your mouth. And that's all what God wanted you to do. And it started your journey on your purpose. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about that. Oh my God. That's deep. That's deep. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask a question. But before I do, I just want to speak out there that I have spoke to Reginald and I am going to be ordering 3 books. So I do want to give away for anybody that wants to participate. Please please share to a group, and then we will go at the end of giving away 3 books, and you could give it to Father's Day for a gift for any father that's out there. And I'm excited about that. As this that's something in my heart that I want to do. And then also support. We all need to support one another. And look, you could support just sharing and liking. You could be supporting of just saying, all right, let me click on one of the links. We are going to add the links in the room. So please just share and like and let anybody know that we are giving away 3 books that can help your life or help that young man's life or that father's life. Okay. So I want to go on to the next questions. Black men heals. Oh, I said I need to know about this. What is about this? Black men Heals. Can you tell us more about the purpose and the mission, and how did you stumble across it?
Yeah, so I'll try to go in order of like the way things happen. So for me, it was again, I knew something wasn't right. Like I knew I had things that I wanted to talk about and discuss, father issues. I became a father. I had like I was a son raising a son that I didn't know how to be a father. So I knew I was opening, and I think that's one of the first things you have to be open to receiving new information because you knew something wasn't right. And so just going along, and I guess again, it's a quote that say when the student is ready, the teacher will come. And so I think as a student, I was ready, and I just had again God doing God's work. I heard about an organization called Black Men Hill. They put out a free call of like free therapy for Black men, and I just so happened to be serendipity or whatever the case may be, just be in. It was started. Based out of Philly. It was started in Philly, and it was like we put out the call, and I'm like, okay, I'll do it. They're doing free therapy. They're giving free 8 sessions. And so I went through the therapy, amazing experience. It was my first therapist, a Black man, older Black man. I'm glad that they gave me an older Black man, because if it was somebody my age, I probably would have thought I knew more, knew better, but he was already coming with that wisdom. So I'm going to give him the respect because of the wisdom, and now give him even more respect because he has the therapeutic knowledge. But fast forward, after I go through it, again, talking about what we talked about earlier, I was doing my speaking engagements. I was doing these different things, and it was like, "Well, what organization you in?" I'm like, "I'm Reg. I speak. Like, I just try to put life into people." And they was like, "All right, well, we can't do nothing with that." And so I was like, "All right, what I need to be either build an organization, which I have my small organization, or become a part of something that's bigger than me. If the goal is to serve, then I'm going to try to lend myself to any organization that's doing serve, because I don't want to just serve to myself. And I think you said it earlier, or even in the intro, like, how do we serve the community? It's bigger than you. And so now once I can do my one, imagine if I can turn that one Black man or that one young Black man into hundreds or thousands or millions of Black men. And so
That
I was
part.
like, I'm gonna go back and serve the organization that served me, who provided my free therapy. And I reached out and we connected, and I was like, hey, can I get on the board? Like, I just want to contribute. And they was like, hey, Reg, we see what you've been doing. We need you on the team. And so that's how I became a community outreach coordinator over at Black Men Hill. This is actually one of the shirts. Vulnerability is the new sexy. Trying to
Yeah.
get men to be more vulnerable. But as far as what Black Men Hill is and what it does, is it's a nonprofit, again, based out of Philadelphia, and the goal is three things: to remove the stigma, to create
Mhm.
cultural competency, so eliminate that mistrust between the therapeutic system and men of color, and then making it
Yes.
free, because therapy can be expensive. It is expensive, and we wanted to make sure services is provided so that way it doesn't create those three barriers to therapy and getting more
Mhm.
healed. And so the goal is to eliminate those things, and to give that psychoeducation, to give that free therapy, to that mental knowledge, and connecting the two communities together, the mental health community and the Black community.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I have family member up there, so yeah, we're gonna have to talk and see if we could yes, I'm excited, and I am looking forward to see if we could collaborate on something,
Mhm.
and I come down there to contribute to Black Men Heal, because yeah, I serve women, but I just love it to just serve, period. And when it comes out to healing, and when it comes out to restoration, I know what it's like, male or female. You, if you know you've been there on the bottom, been in mud, been in dirt, and you had to heal, and then after you heal, you get restored, and then God uses you then. So like I would love to collaborate with you when it comes down to that organization, so we could talk a little more about that.
Yes,
Definitely.
and I have to say this because I got to make sure any platform on I say it. Black women are the biggest supporter of Black Men Hill. Not even Black men are the biggest support. It's Black women who are the backbone. The founders are Black women, and they
That's
said they
right.
never. And I remember when I got my therapeutic services, there
Hmm.
were Black men around, And then when I got on the team, I'm like, hey, where's the black men that was around? And they was like, they just they left. They're not a part of the organization. And the founders was like, we don't want
Wow.
this for us. We don't want this to be a black woman leading black men. We want black men to be the face of it. So when I came on, it was like, no, we want you. If you down and contribute, we gonna push you to the front. We want this to be a space for black men to do this. And so it definitely was a thing where I was happy to contribute because it was like, man, the biggest supporter is black men and the founder is black women. And then just have, they are so like, hey, no, this is for black men. We don't even want to come to certain spaces. We just want to provide the space so that black men can do the work on their own and they can create that brotherhood and fellowship.
Let me flip this real quick. Let me flip this real quick. You said that you stumbled upon the organization. Then when you got into the boardroom, right? You were invited to the table,
Mm-hmm.
and then it came down to you seeing women, right? Did you see like one man or two
It was
men?
about one or two, but the day to day, it was all black men, black women, all black
Oh,
women. The
okay.
day to day when it was they were about to stop and everybody abandoned because it was like we're not getting support. It was black women at the no, we're gonna keep this space alive for black men to because we believe in the mission, the movement, and the healing that have contributed. Because the slogan is heal men, heal men. You heal a man, you heal a family, you heal a family, you heal a community, you heal a community, you heal a nation, and so on and so forth. So black women were at the cornerstone of that and still are, if I'm being honest.
I'm looking deep than that, right? I'm looking deeper than that. There was a purpose for you to go there, right? And you were getting your therapy there, right? But who would have known that you were going to be on the board? And not also that, it was women that was in the board and men, but you're saying majority of women. But as soon as you came, timing,
Mm-hmm.
readiness, right? You needed to be the face. It was made for you to be there.
Mm-hmm.
It was made for you to be there. It was a purpose for you to be there. Definitely. This is what I'm looking at. Like I look deep. Like when people talk, I look deep. Like oh, that was the purpose. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
it's like wow. Like I really want you to get that. Like it was timing, it was readiness, and it was a purpose that you went there for therapy. But you were being groomed.
Mm-hmm.
You were being groomed
Mm-hmm.
to be on board
Mm-hmm.
and to be looked at to be the face, right? Not saying that you're the face to take away the
Right.
name, no, but they're using saying like because you are doing mighty things, you're out there. People know your heart, your passion for men with mental health is great. It's you can't deny it of your calling. You can't deny it of your purpose. You are aligned truly and elevating in your purpose. I just wanted to point that out.
No,
I just
and
wanted to point that out.
I appreciate that because it is something that, again, even starting Black Man, they don't even notice. I even had a meeting with the founder, like, hey, I still got my own things going on. Like, I feel like I'm giving too much. But again, if God is pulling you in a direction, just go in that, stop fighting against it because now you're going to do all of these different things to impact one person where if you join a part of a movement that's bigger than you, because now there's a team like my brother Doug Reed, and there's a big team of like black men and women that's making it. It's becoming almost like the NAACP where you'll have different black men in each city because it's not in Philadelphia anymore. It's in 8 states now, and with the plans intentions of going more and keep providing therapy. And so I was pulling away, but it's like, no, I'm pulling you this way for a reason, and you're not listening to me. And it was like, I submit. Like I'm gonna go where the lane is like opening up for me.
That's right. That's right. I'm excited. Wow. That's deep. That's a definitely eye opening to me, and I love every bit of it of your story and just of just your alignment of where you're walking. You're taking your time and you just go with the flow.
Mhm.
of your purpose. You are going with the flow of the alignment that you are in. And I love that. I love that definitely. Okay, we are gonna go to the next. Why is it that men, yes, please, I need you to explain this to me, but it's very important. This question is very important because I see it today and we see it today. I'm gonna say it like that. And then that's where there is mental health issues out there when it comes down to male figures, because they must be strong. They have to walk with their head up high. And I understand, but they also have that soft point that they don't want to show or be vulnerable. Yeah, yeah, right. So they end up breaking down on the inside until it really shows on the outside. Why do I'm going to say why do men, but why do our black men today really run from vulnerability or run from showing that side, and this and rather just have this thing like I'm just going to tough up and do it and get healed or be heard that they need help, instead of saying like I got to be a macho, I got to be strong for my wife, I got to be strong for my family. Why?
I think, and mind you, that was one of the questions I had for the longest, and it was before I started this mental health journey, my book, podcast, Black Men. It was just a question of like me trying to understand that particular point. And what I'll say
Mhm.
is, it's deeper than people realize, and it's like what
Mhm.
you said, like you're going in deeper layers of things. You think about, and I feel comfortable talking to a black woman about this. You think about slavery and how the man was demasculated in front of his woman, and he watched his woman go through things and couldn't do nothing about it, watched things happen to his children, couldn't do nothing about it, and he was just told to toughen it up
Yes.
and just take it. And then you fast forward past slavery, and then you think about government issues where the man is basically replaced by the government, where there is no need for the actual man in the household to provide, support, protect, nothing. They're getting childcare, you're getting food, you're getting all these things. What is the need for me anymore? And so
Mm.
you got that layer. I've even had
Yes.
multiple things where it happened where it's like, are you acting like a girl? Like, and more so, you being too emotional or you too vulnerable, and like I need you to toughen up and be this. And then if you go in the neighborhood, or you go in certain in sports arenas and environments, it's like being weak in certain environments can get you killed, literally.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so it's so many just walking outside layers around. There is no space for you to be vulnerable. And so
Mm.
it's not a turn off, turn on thing. You have to be you I had to make an effort to be vulnerable. An effort, like a
Mm.
conscious effort, because socially constructed, I'm not allowed to be that. Like you're supposed to be. And again, the reason why I led was saying that to a black woman, because that's the same as a black woman. Is like you're not even allowed to be vulnerable. It's like, because if you are, you're the angry black woman. You're the angry. You know what I mean? So it's so many different layers. Even when it is with black men, it's like, yo, I can't say I'm hurting because my dad wasn't there. Like you just, I don't
Mm.
need him. I don't need him. Like I got it. Like I can handle it. But I just, and it's funny you said that, or this question popped up. You know how Facebook gives you memories and things pop up? A memory
Mm.
popped up from Facebook of me just recently because the Father Day is coming up. And I said something, it was like 2009, 10. I had to be like 20, 19, or 18 years old. I wasn't even in my 20s yet. And I said something to the tune of like, our Father's Day is this weekend. I didn't even notice. I don't even care about the holiday. I don't even pay attention to it. And I look back on it now and seeing me as an individual, and I can say out loud that I just was mad because I didn't have a dad. I was missing my dad. I was mad that I didn't have that. I couldn't share that bond. I couldn't have that conversation. And so, to answer your question, is like, is it socially constructed to be vulnerable? And that's what attracted me to Black Men Hill, because they created a safe space and allowed you to be vulnerable. And it was like, I got to be a part of that. So that, I think that's is, do people want Black men to be vulnerable is the real question.
Mhm. Wow. Wow. That's true. That question right there. Yeah, that's true. Because I think as well. I'm gonna have to say this, ladies. We contribute to that too. We contribute to that too. And it does go back from slavery days, to how our mindset is, and then with the government just attacking our husbands, our brothers, all the male figures, African American. I'm gonna have to put that out there because it's what it is. Like, it's African American men, male figures that are taken away, going into jail system, and then I don't know. It's like we harden our heart, saying, "Okay, we have to be strong." So then, when the brother or a brother comes through that has that mentality, or coming back out from prison, and it's just like, well, I've been doing this for a long time, and be a man. And so I really have to put out there, like, we sometimes hit the male over their head with our words of saying, be a man, you know
I heard it
and
a
that's
couple times in my relationship. I heard it a couple times, like, "Yo, why are you acting like a girl? Like, what are you doing?" It's like, because I'm emotional. Like, I'm not allowed to. Oh, so let me turn that off. Like, I that was the indicator to turn that off because it's frowned upon.
Yes, yes. And I too could be a witness that I did that a couple of times in the past with old relationships. And that's why I said we have to, it's all about honesty, right? And when we look at relationships, and when we break up, when we do breakups, right? I have this thing saying, well, you know what? I can't point the finger so much. I have to look at myself too to say, well, what did you do? Or what did you do not do? Right.
Mhm,
And I have to always really sit back and think. Because not all the time is a pointing the finger. You
mhm,
got to look at yourself and evaluate, all right, well, what happened in the relationship that that you could have done better as well.
mhm,
Right. And that doesn't go for every case, because there's cases that's different when, people get abused and everything. But situation that's just like, no abuse or whatever, you just have to really look at yourself and look at the relationship when they say that is your truth, his truth, God's truth. And you have to look at all truths. You do. You have to look at all truth in order to heal and be in another relationship, right? You gotta be in that relationship with yourself
mhm.
and be honest with yourself. And I had to do that a couple of times. Purpose had to talk to Diana. Straight up. Purpose had to talk to Diana. Purpose sometimes put her to the side and say, girl, no,
Mm,
no, you're wrong for that.
mhm,
So yes, definitely. That was good. That was good. So I had to put out there that women, we do contribute out there, and let's not do that. Let's not do that anymore. Um, so yes, I'm gonna go to the next question. When does a man need to say, hey, I need to check my well being, right? Tell us more about what mental health that men face then in today's society. So that I wanted to, um, because when we talk about mental health, we do got to put everything together. We got to put the whole scenario, we got to put everything together, right? So we do have to go back with slavery. We do have to go back of what was then and then what is now, because it does, everything is in alignment to where we are now in 2021. And things are still going on, but things got to change, and there are some changes happening. But tell us about this mental health for men and awareness. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So again, I'm an analogy person. Like and that's
Mhm.
one of the things you said. I found that my talent is speaking and communicating. Like I love that. But what I love about it is trying to find ways to, like, again, I could talk to the older man or I could talk to the young guy. And so I try to use
Mhm.
analogies because people understand analogies more than me just talking at people. So I'm gonna use the same car analogy where my car was running, and you know your car is running, like, but you know your car, like, it ain't running the way it could be running, but you know your car. So my
Mhm.
car was running enough for me to say, hey, I could get to point A to point B and then back to point A. So there's no really need to getting anything checked out, and I'm going somewhere with it. So I didn't feel like I had any problems. It was, this is just how life is. It wasn't until I had my son, I was in a relationship. My father was. My check engine light started to come on, and so, and again, even with using that same analogy, we ignored the check engine light. We ignored it and say, "Hey, I know my car can keep me going. Like, I know these things." It wasn't until it started to affect other people and that were around me that I was like, "All right, I need to take this car to the shop because something ain't right." Even though I can drive it and I can manage with it, it may not be the best for everyone that's connected to me, from my son to my relationship to my mother to my family members to my community. Couldn't keep a job. Something is happening, and I need to fix this. Obviously my car not running the way it should be, because even though I'm getting to places, I'm not going anywhere. And so I needed to go do it for the benefit of other people. And then as I realized and I was doing it for other people, I started saying, hey, these things are bothering me. Oh, when you said I act like a girl, that did bother me. Oh, wait, my dad wasn't there to take. I mean, when I was in therapy one day, a conversation came out about a bike that I didn't get when I was 12 years old. I'm like, I didn't even know that that was still on the top of my mind. And so I say it when just look at the people around you first. But if you're good, then I think that takes a real skill and a talent to it's self-awareness to check yourself. Now I'm kind of like self-regulating, and I've gained therapeutic tools. I'm surrounded by therapists. I did my research. I'm inspired by powerful people like yourself. That it's like, yo, there's things that you can do on your own as well to maintain. If you see the tire pressure going on your car, put some air in it. If you see the check engine light, at least get a diagnostic. Just start to do certain things in the capacity to help yourself try to manage yourself and do the maintenance. Like, you don't have to wait till your car breaks down for you to say, all right, it's time to do something about it. It's like, it's okay to check in and do those things. And mind you, I had to be comfortable with that because of what we talked about earlier, where you're supposed to toughen it out. Hey, your car running. What are you stopping for it? And it's like, it's not running at optimal level. That's the problem. It's not the fact that it is running, because we're all managing day to day. Are we really living, or are we not? And so once I realized that I'm affecting others, I need to start managing myself. That's when I knew I needed help. So my advice to other men is like, just look at how you're impacting others. And if you're impacting others in a way that's negatively, then maybe that should be a warning sign. But also, how do you feel? Or you feel like you're impacted negatively? Because now when I got exposed to that, I'm like, I can't keep a job. All these things going on. I should have definitely been doing some work. And so I hope that answered the question. I know I went a couple ways.
No, I love it. It is like that analogy is perfect when it comes down to being a vehicle. Our lives is a vehicle.
Mhm,
Right? Um, I do like that part where you have stated that like when things go wrong, or like it's like a ripple effect, when they say a ripple effect or a domino effect. It's
mhm,
so true. It is so true. If
mhm,
you know that you have this positive vibe, this positive attitude, energy, then it's going to help you along the way, letting other people be positive. Guess what? I do know because I witnessed that, and I had to point that out to myself, or I'm gonna say purpose point that out to Diana, that once you get in a situation that you have something toxic coming in your mind, it could be self-sabotaging, right? You telling yourself, oh, you think you could do that? I don't think you could do that. Oh, do you remember? It's like it trickles and letting you and reminding you of just, oh, you remember that? You remember that? And then now you get even more angry.
mhm,
You start remembering older things.
mhm,
And that even gets you more mad.
mhm,
Or it depends on what mood you're in or what attitude you have at that time. It trickles down. It's like a definitely a domino effect. It just go bloop bloop bloop, and then until everything falls off.
mhm,
So that right there, I want to say, just like Reginald was saying, before it can get to that point, get help, get therapy, get counsel. There's so many things, especially right now, there's no excuse. Wellness have been a major, a major thing since the pandemic happened, since quarantine happened. Now you have a lot of coaches out there, right? And not also that, you have a lot of facilities, you have a lot of nonprofit organizations that are now open and giving you the service for free, right? Or at at an expense that you can afford it. Even got to a point that for insurance now, that they're making sure that insurance are tagging along, these government insurance and also regular insurance is tagging along to make sure that they get paid, and it's there for anybody to take. Your well-being is very important. The mental health, you have to be healthy in the mind, and to move forward and to elevate in purpose, and to just elevate, just finding out your purpose, you have to have that peace of mind, that peace of mind and that peace of calmness of just like, all right, I know things is going wrong here, I know things going wrong here, but I know that I need to probably need help. I need help before I before I split off and go crazy, right? So it's very important for the males today out there, right? So we're gonna go on to the fourth question I have for you, which is, can you share with us, which you did, but I want to show, like, if you could just get into a deeper with this movement of brotherhood, right? Now we're on a discussion with brotherhood. Can you share with us a movement of brotherhood through the mission of helping out men to elevate their minds and their lives? What have you witnessed of men coming together in unity and one accord? And I know that you have, because you are at the perfect, right, organization that you're in.
I'll share this, and I must say that the most powerful thing about the pandemic is that it helped Black Men Hill. Again, Black Men Hill has been around since 2018. But and I was in the first cohort when they didn't have any money. They was just trying to figure it out, and people were doing it out of love, out of service,
Mhm.
and mind you, I should mention that they did it for free. They were volunteering their time. And so
Mm.
we fast forward through the pandemic. Now everybody, like you said, see the importance of mental wellness and contributing to that. And so I bring that all up to say, Black Men Hill started to get overwhelmed with men seeking help, and we couldn't
Mm.
provide enough safe spaces for men. And so it was like, what can we do to still serve these brothers, even though that they all can't get into each cohort of the free therapy sessions? Out out of that was birth King's Corner, and we talk about the
Mm.
corner where people hang out and drug sales. You get information. There's different things, and we like, well, why don't we change the dynamic of what the corner is supposed to be, and won't that be a space for men to fellowship like they usually do? But now the information is kind of different, and so King's Corner is a virtual safe space where men from all over the world. We have brothers and Black men too. We have brothers from the UK, Canada, Mexico, all over the world, where we get together every single Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we discuss different topics. Like one of the biggest topics we had recently was Black men needing hugs. And you never really realize the significance of why the hug was so important. I mind you, we see it, but what is the psychological thing behind it? The bear hug, the side hug,
Yes.
the tap on the back hug, like, and what these things signify and what they mean as men, and how we correlate with each other and relate to one another and have these conversations. So every single week we open up the door and have those conversations about fellowship. And to answer the
Mhm.
question, what I've learned is men want to be vulnerable, and that's what the reason why Black Men Hill got created. The men want to be vulnerable, but is there a designated space where we are allowed to be vulnerable? And that's the, how do you say, that's the main point of being there. So because you got the barbershop where men talk, and we bump into a vulnerable conversation by accident, or you have coaches and their players, and they may have a vulnerable conversation, but the basis of their relationship is the whatever sport they're playing. But with
Mhm.
King's Corner, that is, no, this is the safe space. This is the space where we start to develop those things, and we start to unpack some of these things that we wouldn't even think that it means so much. So to answer that question, what I've learned is that men want it, and they need it, but again, it has to be designations for it.
Yes. Wow. Like it's amazing. And you had said something as well that pointed out to me. You said that in the pandemic that there was no room. Like that, there was no room to give them that space to basically give them services because it was getting overpacked. So right there, that's opportunity itself. That's the opportunity itself. So when it comes out to Men's Heal, do they have or are they looking for another building or another destination, growing? Because I that's what I see. I just, when you're speaking it and when you spoke about it, I just said this thing is gonna be shooting up. This thing
Mhm.
has been shooting up. It had opened a greater door. So this again, when people say that storms, you better rise in that storm. You better dance in that rain.
Mhm.
Do you see the opportunities that come that
Mhm.
come? That is purpose.
Mhm.
There was a purpose for it. Yes, it had to happen in a way that we all didn't want to witness. We all didn't want to have that experience. We all endured in this. We did. And I remember I was on a summit with mental heals with my girl Lakeisha. Hey, shout out to Lakeisha. And she did a phenomenal job. I'm hoping to connect y'all to definitely for her next year summit for mental health awareness month. And we talked about purpose, right? But I had to mention something with how it was more of like how did I overcome in the pandemic, right? And I had to look at all of it because I had to look at the purpose of the pandemic happening. Then Floyd, George Floyd happened, and then everything else started changing. And what I mean by that, everything pertaining to African American started changing. And it's sad how he was used as that vessel to lose his life, but the purpose that came out of it was change.
Mhm.
I kid you not. I am 37 and I don't think I seen anything happening and movements going on like how it happened around when he passed away, when he died in that, dramatic way.
Mhm.
It was just, and it's like justice got to be served
Mhm.
and justice for all, not justice for one, but it was justice for all.
Mhm.
And it got to a point that corporates had to change their
Mhm.
regulations, how they operate, right? Maybe not everybody changed their company, but I tell you this, a lot of big companies had to change.
Mhm.
They had to change. They had to step up and be that change. Because if we're saying this is wrong, this been going on for a long time, they had to make that change.
Mhm.
And I had to look at it in that way with purpose, and it was amazing. It was just amazing how it all turned around for the good.
Mhm.
It turned around for the good. Not for his family, yes, hands down, but it also changed and impacted the world
Mhm.
to step up and do right. Not and stop with the race card and stop with just saying that you're better than because of color.
Mhm.
So like I just had to point that out. Like it's with Brotherhood and with One Accord, I see that it helped your nonprofit as well. Like it, and I see beyond that. There's going to be more not franchises, but there's going to be more buildings, and that there's going because it's needed. It opened the door of an opportunity, saying these men need help.
Mm-hmm.
So this had opened the door definitely for Black Men Heals, and I'm excited because it is a movement, definitely a movement, and it's needed. And our men today, they ready to step up and be kings.
Mm-hmm.
They stay ready to step up and be kings. It's just it everything has to be aligned.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be in order. Your mind have to be in order. Your readiness have to be in order. Your maturity have to be in order. And when it comes down to Black Men Heals, it is part of a. I would say I think that this organization contribute to helping men heal, number one, but also helping men how to operate in a new way, operate in a way of saying, okay, I'm healing in this area. Now, what is my next step? Now I want to see my purpose. Now I want to go for what's next in my life because y'all are grooming them, getting ready in that area. And you've been there.
I definitely, I would be remiss not to say it because it's Father's Day coming up this weekend. That is our fundraiser goal, is to donate 300 therapy sessions to fathers healing. So specifically, Black
Mm,
Men Heal is Black men, but for this fundraiser, we're donating those sessions strictly to Black fathers and trying to get them. We're doing it all the month of June. I'll send you the information too, but it's
please.
specifically the fathers healing, Black fathers healing, and
Mm,
bringing them home to their families.
wow, that is amazing. That is amazing. Yeah, like y'all making moves, and that's all I can say. Y'all making moves, and it's the right moves because it's needed in this time and in this season. And I don't think it's as a season. It's something that is needed. Period. It's not a season. This is something for a lifetime. And because of the pandemic, it had to pull it as a forefront now, saying like, yeah, we are the right hospital.
Mm,
We are the right hospital.
mm,
So come in. This is where it starts, right here,
mm,
right here. And then when you're ready to go into the world, you're ready after you get everything in order, and we help you to get aligned in
mm.
your purpose. So I love that. I love that. Wow, wow. Yes, I see big moves happening at Black Men Heals and for you, Reginald. I really do. I really do. Okay, so let's go to how important is it for fathers to take time out for their mental health purposes?
Mm.
Wow, you're okay. I know you got two little ones. How old are your little ones?
2012 and 2018. The
Ah,
birthday.
oh,
So 3 and 8
okay.
or 9. He'll be 9 this year.
Do you have any suggestions or like when you know you're in that mode of overwhelmness and like what do you do as in to take time out for your mental health purposes?
So I say it again too. It's a historical context of everything, and so I'm thinking about what we talked about earlier about like slavery and those things. But even to the sense of uh, when men left their families, I think they were going through their own things. What they
Mhm.
didn't know was you're not supposed to leave your family. It's
Mm.
leave, go get your like go in the room. Like, so for example, if I know I'm getting overwhelmed with everything that's going on, it's like I need to separate myself. I'll go in the car, I lock myself in whatever room is free to like just put a barrier between the stress that I'm getting right now. Like
Yes.
I find my way to get it. I make sure to wake up earlier so that way I can have that calm and that peace. Like I'm like I have to wake up earlier so that I can gain that, so that way I can already be in a certain mindset. The one
Mhm.
thing that I suggest is helping me, I'm gonna say that helped me out, that is helping me because I still do it to this day, is
Mhm.
a pause between transitions. And what I mean by that is when I come home from work, I don't come right into the house. I may sit in the car for about 5, 10, 15 minutes just to mentally prepare myself because I don't want to bring the stress of whatever happening outside the house inside the house. And so I try to
Yes.
make sure I'm giving myself that pause, like nobody in there did nothing to you. So whatever you fight, whatever battles you're fighting on the outside that's causing you an anxiety or may cause depression or cause it that's the world is fighting against you, that transition time gives me to say, but this is your pace of peace. This is not supposed to be another
Mhm.
day. And so that has been one thing that is actually beneficial and is helping me out a lot.
I like that because that's where, I think men do need to operate in that area. As a like that could be a practice, right? That could be one of the things that they could practice on. And like you said, go into your car or go into a room that no one's in, and because dads, and just like with moms, we were always mommy, 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 this, mommy, that, mommy, but dads get that too. Dads get that too. So it's like, okay, I need a break.
Mm-hmm.
I need a break. And before you could get a little angry, like, all right, I'm gonna step outside. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
take a walk. I'm gonna take a walk
Mm-hmm.
and then come back in. And it's true, it's needed. And like you said, it is an everyday thing. It is
Mm-hmm.
a daily, that's the right word. It's a daily practice and a daily routine and a daily walk. That I know that there are dads that need that. Right. That's why I had to ask that question because, it will help that next brother. It will help that father out there. Say,
Mm-hmm.
you know what, let me take a walk. Let me go in my car. Let me go in there on a room, or
Mm-hmm.
let me just, but you don't need to leave the house, as in you don't need to leave the family.
Mm-hmm. That was one of the things that when I reached out, because mind you, I said my me and my dad relationship was strained by the time I had my first son in 2012.
Hmm.
And once I got a chance to talk to him, because I was literally, without him being in my life, following the same exact trajectory that he was doing. I was ready to leave. I was ready to quit. I didn't want to be in a relationship no more. I was like, I don't even care if I'm in my kid's life, etc. And it's like, you are directly contributing to the same cycle that got you to where you are. So now
Hmm.
you have to take a step aside and do something different in order for something different to happen. And so I bring that up to say when I talked to my father, he was like, yo, I was still a kid myself, trying to raise you, trying to figure it out. I didn't mean to hurt you. That wasn't my intention. I didn't say, hey, I'm going to hurt you. Like, I want to make you feel bad. It was, I'm going through my things in my life, and I thought this was the best decision to make at that time. And while I don't agree with the decision that he made, I understand it because once I was in that same predicament, it was like, oh, this is what you were feeling. This is the pressure you was feeling. This is the anxiety. This is all these different things. What we talked about earlier about the stresses and women and government and all that stuff is like, oh, I just have to find a alternative route that also that still allows me to have my mental healing, but contributes to me still being in my sons, my family, and not recreating that generational curse.
Hmm. That's deep. That's deep. And when someone could think like that have that mindset of what their parents went through, that's where you get to understand them a little more. And that's why there is a lot of miscommunication between fathers and children, their children today, because they are not looking within of how they were raised or what they had was taught, and how they handled things when they were younger. Sometimes if the child really get to look deeper of what their parents went through, they get to understand. And no, we're not making that, like, as a child, we're not saying like to excuse it, but we have a great understanding
Mm-hmm.
to kind of like, one time, my cousin was telling me, it was something with my dad, right? And she was just like, she got to a point to just be okay, that it's okay to see the part that you don't really like about them, but be okay with that,
Mm-hmm.
to accept it like that, because it's not going to change. Like, it's, if that's a way how he is, well, so it's always the same way. It's like a family thing. It's like a family thing, but I understand now.
And all I can do is not perpetuate that same thing into my two sons. And now I'm
Correct.
making space for my son's healing. I'm making sure he know how to use the stress ball, and he know how to express himself, and we have conversations. I think I'm no longer trying to repair, like, and me and my that he just called me today. We have a phenomenal relationship right now. Like,
That's
um
great.
we have those conversations because I realized either I can continue to penalize him for that little boy that didn't have his father, or accept
Hmm.
the fact that we're both men and we can have a man relationship and develop a father and son relationship over time. And once I was able to accept that, our relationship was, I don't have any expectations for you as a father anymore. I just want a relationship with you, and as long as we still can have that relationship, I can build that father relationship son that I wanted with my son.
I like that. I like that what you have said because it's true. Some children still have that expectation over their father's head. Like, well, you ain't do that and you ain't do this, and it's like that kinds of ruin the relationship. So I like what you said. It's just it makes sense. Let's build this relationship. Let's move forward. I am an adult now,
Mhm,
and now I have to make decisions as well as a parent
mhm.
to know how to raise my child or my children. So that was very good. I thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I really, really thank you for that.
The funny part is he gets mad when I don't answer his call, or that you was gonna call me back. I'm like, do you know you got Negro? You got 20 years of not calling me back when I'm expecting. Now I'm like, it's just weird now.
I understand. Oh God. While mine's call me 2,000 times. I love it, but hey, it's just like, oh, okay, all right. He called again. Oh, okay.
Right.
5 minutes later. Oh, again. I love my father, but man, it does. It drive me crazy. Like, man, every 5 minutes or every 10 minutes, But
What can you
that's
do,
what
right?
you
Mhm,
it's so true. Oh God. So let's get to the legacy conversation, right? I did put out there saying, how can men and fathers today focus on building legacy? Where should they start? And what suggestions do you have for men out there today when it comes down to building legacy? And also, what does building legacy mean to you? What knowledge do you have with building legacy when it comes down to purpose, when it comes down to mental health,
mhm,
right? Because building legacy means that your health got to be right. Is a big part of it.
mhm.
So how can you elaborate that and put it all together?
So for me, it was what we talked about in the beginning of the conversation about a lot of trial and error. I didn't know what I wanted my legacy to be, and so I wrote a book. When I wrote my book, I put a chapter on suffering on purpose, and a lot of that
Hmm.
was what my legacy will be and how I want my legacy to remember. But I did a lot of gold borrowing in the beginning, and I call it gold borrowing because I didn't know what I wanted. I was taking and borrowing from people that were already, they seemed aligned. Like if I seen
Mm.
you that is she doing purpose, I'm like, oh, what's that? I don't want to do exactly, but let me do a version of that. And it's like, I don't want to talk to people all day or whatever the case may be. And so I did a lot of borrowing until I was able to shave down into what I actually want and actually enjoy. And I decided, because it is a decision, that
Hmm.
um, my legacy is to create an environment that I never had. And so, like, I wrote what my legacy, and if anyone ever get the book, I wrote exactly what I have, a version of my legacy that I want, and I am on the hunt. I seen Michael Jackson pass away, unfortunately, in 2009, I believe, and
Mm.
how the world stopped, where his not therapy, what's the word, funeral was on
True.
TV. It stopped the world. And in my mind, I'm like, you know what kind of level of impact that is for everybody to interrupt their lives for this person's death. So if
Have you seen it again?
like, so for me, I'm like, that's a goal for me. Like, I want the world to stop. God forbid, whenever I transition, where I impacted so many people in so many
Mm.
different ways that they're fighting to get into my funeral. And that's not even selfish for me. That's I gotta serve. I got a lot of serving to do for me to have that level of impact. Because I think that if you have that type of impact, it's the people like loved you, like you did what you were supposed to do on this earth. And that for me is the goal of legacy, is to serve in such a capacity where people are still talking about you like you're still alive. And my son knows who Michael Jackson is, and he wasn't even nowhere. Even I was a baby when Michael, like, and it's like, how do you know? And it's because of the level of impact that he made, and that's one of my goal when I think about legacy.
That part right there. That part right there. Um, it's so true because that's where not everybody have that purpose, not everybody have that calling, but for those like you and like I, like we're called to the masses, right? And it's not like we're called to the masses because we want the attention. No, we're called to the masses because we know that how our life was structured and how our life was written and how our life was illustrated to really help many people out there. So I remember what TD Jakes had said beginning of I think it was 2019 going into 2020. And he had mentioned something that really was so profound to me with how was your how was your last decade?
Mm,
Do you think that you are going to make a great impact for this next decade?
mm,
And I had to sit down, and I kid you not, Reggie, I had sat down and I did a vision board for 10 years. And I know it seems crazy, but what it is I'm looking at the big picture.
mm,
Even though I need to take baby steps to accomplish the visions and the dreams that I have, but every one of them are connected to purpose,
mm,
are connected of they're connected to make an impact and not about me. The work has to be put in to help others. Everything that my hands have to touch, everywhere that my feet have to go, it has to be on the base of helping community. It has to be the base of helping the next brother or next sister to grow and elevate in their purpose. It has to be in alignment of what God wants me to do. It has to be in alignment of what I'm called to do. And I had to make that vision board saying, this is it. Get to work.
mm.
Get to work, girl. And go ahead.
I want to add something to it, and it's not to disagree with what you said, but to add. You said something along the lines of not everyone is called for as big of a mission or as big of being in the front. Like, not to disagree with that, but I think about something like a teacher. They have 30 students that they are directly impacting every single
Mhm.
year. And imagine how many lives that is going forward. So they may not be in a spotlight, they may not be, but they are impacting people. And so I
Yeah.
remember Mrs. Green. I remember Mrs. Harvey. I remember Dr. Cosby. Not Dr. Cosby, Mr. Cosby. I'm thinking about
Yes.
Bill Cosby show. I remember these teachers because they impacted me. And so think about how many other students they impacted, but no one knows about them. I think about a
So
funeral that
true.
happened in around the corner, where in the neighborhood, and I'm like, I want that whoever that person is, they changed a lot of lives because they backing up the street right now. And so I think everyone in some capacity, I point, and you know this from personal experience from like my other parts of my story. The
Mhm.
doctors that help me, I have no clue who they are, but they on a
Mm.
daily basis help me through a car accident. They help somebody else that got shot. They every day they are impacting lives, and
Yes.
you never know how much those mean to them people. And so I'm looking for them people all the time because I want to support them. But I think everyone has that capacity to impact people on a grand scale, whether they're famous, not famous, people know about it, don't know about it. We all are
Mhm.
contributing and serving in some capacity.
I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying. Let me correct that then, because I do get what you're saying with when I said with masses, but you have people, the word, this is the key, capacity.
That's the key. Yep. Yep.
Capacity, right?
Mhm.
So you have those that's called to masses, you
Mhm.
have those that's called for the thousands, you have those
Mhm.
that's called to the hundreds, to the fifties. It depends on the capacity of your purpose that God made you for on this earth.
Ooh, the capacity of your purpose.
Right?
Ooh.
So, like, yes, I believe everyone has a purpose to be a forefronter, but again, we always have to remember we got to stay at that place that once we are a leader, we are still a student, right? So like, some they always have that say like, oh, there's too many chiefs out there, not too many Indians. Yes, I get it. And it goes back with everybody. Okay, I can't say everybody, but a lot of us woke up and say it's time to be entrepreneur, right? Let's get like everybody was like, oh, this shut down, that shut down. Okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna improvise, make something in my home, or use that niche that I know it's my gift that I can make some money off.
Mhm.
But did everybody really come
Mhm.
to a point to say, I'm gonna serve for a good cause or I'm gonna serve for money? And I know we need money,
Mhm.
right? But like if you put your heart to the passion, it will make room. Like they say that it will make your gift will make room for you. Your gift will make room for you. So if your mindset is not really too much on the money, but realistically, yes, we need bills to pay and everything. But if you do with a good heart and with a good cause, God will make room for you. He will open doors that you thought that you would never had a chance to. I seen
Mhm.
it. I witnessed it. I ain't seen nothing yet. Put it that way. I know I have not seen nothing yet. I know I'm
Hey,
still living.
going back to your word, you're going off of the capacity that you see, not what God has for you. So you don't even know, like you said, you don't even know the capacity that you already probably like, I'm overwhelmed now. And you're gonna give me more because you can handle it though.
God, yes, that part. Oh my God. But I just look at all angles and just say, wow. When it comes down to capacity, it's so true that you really are given what you were purpose here for.
Hmm.
And you just got to go forth and go with the flow and stay in alignment of it.
Hmm.
And you'll be all right. And of course, there's still going to be some tribulations. There's still going to be some trials to come to. Don't think that everything is going to be good. Everything's not going to be good. But I kid you not. If you know your purpose and things try to come your way, it's not going to bother you much. It's not going to bother you much. It can't conquer you because it's like you already had your head set like,
Hmm.
okay, all right, but I'm still aligned in my purpose. So, okay, you want to hit me with this? You want to hit me? Oh, IRS, you want to hit me with this?
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
like, okay, but it's like, okay, I'm gonna still keep going.
Hmm.
I'm gonna still keep moving because I know that I am in the right place at the right time, and
Hmm.
I just have to keep moving and don't really let it upset me. And
Hmm.
that's the part, and it goes back to mental health. That's how you can that's how you can tap into your mental wellness, as in like the state of mind to not have overwhelmness, to not have depression, to not have anxiety when you know you're walking in your purpose.
Hmm.
You have less stress. Yes, we get wearied and worried, but it's like it doesn't really bother you as if you weren't really too much in your knowing your purpose. You really be stressed out because it's like you don't know what to do with your life. You don't know what to do.
So
I don't
true.
know if you agree with that, but it's
No,
I know
I
I
agree wholeheartedly. And again, going back to that car analogy, that's when the windshield wipers coming on when it's rain, it's mud, and you just still driving, even though you're driving through hell right now. I'm still going the right way. Like y'all can throw all the things you want at me, and like, but I know I'm supposed to be going this way. Even financially broke, I'm
mm,
still going this way. Because this is what I'm called to go, and this is the way I'm supposed to be going. And so I agree wholeheartedly with that.
amazing, amazing. Look, we went over. We are going. It's 8:24. But this was good. We are at
Yeah.
the end of our discussion, and this was amazing. I'm totally excited to just and honored to have you on. And you gave me a lot of insight when it comes down to men, and then you gave me a lot of gems as well. Like it's just it's a great exchange, wisdom exchange, knowledge exchange, and understanding as well. Because I'm a female, but at the same time, I do work around. I have three brothers. I have a father. I have a
Mhm.
stepdad. I have stepbrothers, and
Mhm.
it's needed today to talk about these things because men are out there very I could say because of the pandemic, maybe it opened them up a little bit more with the
Mhm.
vulnerability, but there's still more out there. There's still more to reach. There's still more men that's hiding on the inside of how they feel, and they're going through mental breakdowns. They're going through some things in their lives. So, what is like your message out there with your, like who you advocate for? Um, what is your message for today for Father's Day? Because it's good you have that Father's Day link that your company that the company uh, wants to reach a 300 goal, correct?
300 therapy sessions.
All right, 300 therapy sessions. So this is I want to put that out there. Black Men Heals in Philly.
Yep, but well, we're in
Uh,
Philly, New York, we're in Delaware, we're in Jersey, we're in the DMV, so we're in VA, in Baltimore, or Maryland, and DC, and then Atlanta. That's the 9, and then we're getting ready to start gearing up to move. We're doing down south and then west. So yes.
Wow. Wow. So every one of these nonprofit organization facilities is doing it all together to complete 300 in total.
Yep.
Okay, I'm glad that you mentioned that. So Reggie has all the information. He just shared it.
Mhm.
Please, if there is a father out there, if there is a brother out there, there's a cousin, please let them know. Let them know there's a free session out there. They are there to help you. Like I said, it comes like they are the hospital,
Mm.
and you will be helped in every area to get you ready for the real world of really walking in your purpose so you can elevate and elevate in your purpose.
Yes, I would be remiss but not to say thank you. Because as much as you said it's an exchange of energy, I really do receive everything that you said, and I've gained so much from this conversation because I'm very awkward with like compliments, and I don't even like bragging because I really do love the work that I do, so I don't even know how to receive that. And I think TD Jake said it like you got to be willing to be worthy of certain things, like accept your worthiness, like along those lines of being worthy. So I receive everything that you were sharing, but I also want to put back into you, like you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you do have a knack for what you're doing. So I thank you for offering this opportunity to have this conversation. This is one I always enjoy having. And if I have any final message to anyone is we are here for a reason. we are here for a reason, and no life is unworthy. And going back to
Mhm.
the earlier, I know it was eons ago, but on the earlier conversation of turning that radio, just start fiddling with the stations so that way you can find the channel of your purpose and make sure that you're going to the beat of your tune and not what society is saying to you. Because we all have our gifts, we all have our purpose, we all have things that we're supposed to be doing, we all have work, individual work that only we could do. And I tried
Mhm.
to be a computer programmer. I tried to be um, administrative assistant. I tried to do multiple things, but I was on the wrong channel. It wasn't until I started tuning into the channel that I was supposed to be on. Like you said, the gift, your gift made room for you. I never did anything out of money. Even now, I wanted to do this conversation. What yields from this conversation? I have no expectations, but I wanted to do that. And so I try to put myself in positions to be on the things that I like to do, and it somehow always works where your gift make room to for you to receive your blessings. I get literally financially paid for being me and being aligned with what I'm supposed to be doing. So please find your purpose because only you can do it, and somebody waiting for you to step into your purpose and your gifts.
I love that. I love that. It's so true. Thank you so much. I enjoyed. Now I'm just checking up on my Facebook. I do see my sisters, Nicole, Jean, Marjorie. That's my mom. Thank you for stepping in. Sherry, that is my coach, my revenue master revenue coach. And I know she got a lot to talk to me about. Yes, we do, Sherry. Naylene, Shaquana, thank you so much, ladies, for joining in. And I am just so excited that I am getting back into my rhythm.
Mm, mm,
I am getting back into my rhythm, and this was it. I said, okay, I can't, May I did one, here I did, but the whole concept of it is don't stop.
mm,
Don't stop. Keep going.
mhm,
Keep pushing because you are just practicing, but I'm getting ready and prepared. Something bigger that you can never imagine.
mm,
And I know that this right here was definitely of something for me and you, brother.
mhm,
Saying there is something on its way, and it's sooner than you think,
mm,
because I feel it big time for me as well.
mm,
And I want to say thank you so much. God doesn't align you with the right with the people that is not in the same purpose of flow.
mm,
He aligns you with the right people, and he aligns you of where y'all two could soar and grow as well, right? So I'm excited. Thank you so much. I am honored to have you on Elevating a Purpose Show. And I just hope every brothers, please, my sisters, share. I am actually going to give away 3 books. So please, if anyone wants to bless a father out there, look, if you're not a father and you want to bless a brother out there, right, that he could truly step into his kingdom as a king, this book will be great for you. And what's that title again, please?
Suffering into success, a paradigm shift of struggle to achieve happiness.
Wow. So I got that book. I didn't finish it all the way, but I know I did start reading it and I'm going to finish it, right? Because that is a goal. That is a goal when it comes down to I'm an audio person. I love it. I love it. I think I have it right up here too. Let me know.
That's one of the goals too, is to get it audio because I'm an audio person myself. Like I use Audible all the time, and I need all the
Yes.
audio. That's one of the that's next up when I'm
That's
still
the next
working
step.
on, yeah, working on some things, but that it is to get it audio.
Okay. All right. Well, I can't wait when you do have an audio for the audio.
Mm,
And we're looking for another book as
yes,
well, right?
yes,
Yes, I know. Because like that was just the beginning. So
yes.
you matured.
Yes.
even more. So I know there's some other things
Yes.
you got more to tell us.
I honestly, you were a part of the story too. You know, the accident is going to be the basis of it, so you already know like where is bringing that everything together again.
Amazing. Wow. I'm honored. Wow.
One of
That's
your words of
amazing.
wisdom,
So,
and it spoke to me. It was like, "You're the one that survived." I know exact, and I was like, "Man, that felt so good to me." So I'm definitely looking
yes.
forward to staying connected.
Yes, we are. It is definitely
Hmm.
divine.
Hmm.
It is divine, and that's all I can say. I don't know what he has in store for us, but it's great things, and we are called to the masses.
Yes,
That's all
yes,
I got to say. We are called to the masses
yes,
for great impact. He knows those that have the right heart. He
yes.
not playing around in this season. He using those that have the right heart. He ain't playing around. He tired of those that their heart had turned. All right, well, I'm gonna use
Yes.
somebody else. You
Yes.
know, I'm gonna use somebody else that matter of fact, it is what it is. And I really thought, like, I know we're closing out, but I want to put this out there where I remember I was telling my mom, and we had a family meeting and we prayed. We all prayed. This is when, like, I think when Obama was coming out
Hmm.
of the White House and they were putting in Trump.
Hmm.
But I had to seek God, and I felt like the Holy Spirit was telling me something about the 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 how can I say this? More of the unqualified.
Mm,
I'm gonna use that word, right?
mm,
That it started with Obama,
mm,
right? Purpose.
mhm,
Black first male black
mhm,
president, African American
mhm,
president. Then it trickled down to having Trump.
mm,
And what I have to point out with Trump was he was unqualified.
mm,
Right? Then for him to go in there, it made other people underneath him had to step up and be senators and be governors and be like there was a lot of people filling up underneath him, even though we were saying he didn't have the right heart, but God had to put more of people that wasn't chosen then
mhm,
under in the operations and head of things. If that didn't happen, how would have all this be in alignment,
speaking truth. Hmm.
right? How is it now that you got more black judges? How is it now that you got more like so the unquiet it had shifted now.
Hmm.
It shifted. And yeah, you still have billionaires and millionaires, but you got now the people that were struggling in poverty, now they are becoming millionaires and billionaires right and I there through the pandemic. So it's just like it's now it had to flip.
Hmm.
It had to flip.
Hmm.
And that's where and how God is using those today.
You tied that beautifully together. You tied all of that. That was a cute. That was a nice button up to dump that whole conversation, or this whole conversation, I should say.
Yes. So, men elevating a purpose.
Yes.
Thank you so much for everyone. Please inbox me because I am going to order the books from Reginald. It will come to me and then I will ship them out for
Mhm.
those that are interested. So please, ladies, gentlemen, share, like, and even subscribe. I got to grow my subscribers on
Yes.
YouTube.
Yes.
Please. So I definitely want to bless somebody for Father's Day weekend, even if they get it after, because I know today's Friday and Sunday is Father's Day, they will still receive it in their hand and be
Mhm.
blessed and looking in a future of prosperity, right? So we
Mhm.
are here tonight. I'm going to use my brother post because I love it. I love it. I love it. He is here to ignite, inspire, and empower men today through their mental health. Reach out to my brother, Reginald A. Howard, and we are set to go. Have a beautiful weekend. reach out to all the men out there for Father's Day and just tell them that you love them. And then also just tell them to keep moving,
Hmm.
keep going,
Keep elevating.
keep elevating. Elevate, brother, to that king that's in you. Y'all take care. And I will see y'all for the month of July. We got some new things, but tune in to that soon. Take care. Thank you so much, Reggie.
No problem.
Yay. We're gonna end this out with yeah, with what I made. Yes. Let's end that out with that.
Yes.